Good, Dave. How are you?
Very good.
All right, you're all set, David.
Thank you. Karen, I don't know when the last time you had a Pop-Tart, but I just got home 15 minutes ago and I'm routing around the kitchen. I said, what can I have in a couple minutes that I could eat before I have the meeting? I opened the cabinet and we have cinnamon Pop-Tarts. So I had a package of those and I will tell you, they're not half bad. It's got to be
I can't remember
cinnamon.
the last time I had one either. Holy Joe.
It's got to be cinnamon.
Gotta be cinnamon.
Can anybody hear me?
Yeah.
Yes,
Yes,
you can.
Henry.
Hey,
Okay.
David.
I see Karen, but I don't see David.
I can see
Yeah.
Lorraine.
Hi.
I can see Karen. Can you guys see me?
No.
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 Oh, I
No.
don't-
And
Isn't that
David,
weird?
it's Gloria, and I had trouble getting on. We had trouble with the internet. So if you can hear me, I'm not gonna fool around to see if you can see my face. I'm just gonna leave my voice, okay? All
Gloria, I can hear you. You sound fine.
right.
Lorraine told me she likes it much better when my face is totally black like this. So I guess I'll start doing this from now on.
Hey, the great thing is you don't know if I have slippers on or not, but I don't. I have regular shoes on.
I do not. I live in an old house here in Bridgewater. The floors are cold. I've got slippers on because they're much warmer.
All
Yeah,
right.
I've had slippers for a while, so I put on my sneakers.
Well, you know, it's funny because I always wear slippers in the house also. I don't like socks.
Yeah.
But I do like slippers.
Well, I thought I'd dress up for you guys, even though you can't see my feet, so.
Well, you know, Lorraine, you look great, Lorraine.
Yeah. Uh,
It's too bad because I just got a new haircut. It was the first one in 3 months. I got it yesterday. So I was all prepped and ready for this meeting.
Which one did you
Well-
get cut?
yeah.
I only have a couple left, Henry. So the few
Well, then
remaining
they-
ones I had cut.
I still
We'll
can't
use
see you.
our imagination on your hairstyle, so.
David,
Yes, Henry.
I still can't see you.
No, I'm like Gloria. I've never had a problem with video before. I don't want to do anything because I don't
Okay.
want to ruin it. And also, Josh put me as host. So if I do anything, I'm afraid I'm going to screw it up.
Okay,
Oh,
no
yeah.
problem.
So
Henry, I don't see you,
You
Henry.
don't see- you don't see me?
No,
no.
Nobody sees me either, huh?
The
no,
only two I can see is Lorraine and Karen.
that's all I see is
That's
Karen.
weird.
That's it.
Hmm.
So,
Karen, I feel like we should be blocking ourselves out too, blocking ourselves out,
I
huh?
know.
So let's see who else is supposed to be here. Anna, I know that I got a message from Ann Schuster and she's not able to attend.
Yeah, she's on days temporarily.
Yeah, and she said she had a meeting at 2 and yeah.
Yeah,
How about, let's see, Zach?
I think Zach is still out on his parental leave. I'm not
Oh,
sure if he'll be
okay.
popping in or not.
And lastly, Chris Hartman, are you there?
No, Chris.
I don't see him.
Hopefully- I just saw him yesterday at the town hall, so hopefully he'll come on in a minute because the first thing on the agenda was Chris.
Okay.
It's kind of funny, 'cause I can hear my wife in the background. We're having opposing Zoom meetings right now. She's in a different room.
Henry, hi.
Okay, I fooled around with everything on the top and finally came on.
What did you have to do? Oh, actually, I got it. Chris is entered and met. Okay. Chris Hartman, are you there? Chris,
I see him coming on.
Yeah,
okay, hopefully we get Chris. So anyways, I guess even though it's way past it, Happy New Year to you guys. This is the first time I've seen everyone since then. So seems like a long time ago already, though.
I know. Does.
And here we are. It's a new year and we're still on Zoom. What do you think about that?
Mhm,
Wonderful.
Don't
I
like it.
know.
So I just got a message from my sister a few minutes ago. One of her sons, the wife, and the baby, who's just barely a year old, they all got COVID in the last
Mhm.
week.
Oh,
Ooh.
boy.
And
Yeah.
for them, my nephew, Jeff, his was like a cold. And he said, he just felt like a
Mhm.
cold and it's starting to get better. The baby, you never would have known. He didn't even act sick, nothing. He
Good.
tested positive, but nothing. And then
Oh, boy.
and my niece, Deb, the wife, she probably like a mild flu and she's starting to get better. So nobody was too sick.
Good.
So
Yeah,
that
my
was
son
Since we've
Shane
been
and his
back,
wife
I've had two
tested,
students email me that they've tested positive because everybody coming back to campus had to test before they could
That's
come
right.
on
Oh,
campus.
right,
Yeah,
yeah.
so like I don't like the Zoom, but considering how many people I come in contact with every day, I'm a little bit relieved that we're doing it on Zoom because I would hate to come in without knowing that I was transmissible because I only test once a week. So it's
Mhm.
just kind of like, I don't want to make you guys sick. So yeah.
So Karen, is all the classes at BSU on Zoom now or just some?
Only a few. We're mostly on campus. All of my classes are live and in person, which is
Oh,
why I
okay.
kind of feel like Typhoid Mary. So on any given day when I'm teaching, I've got 100 people in front of me. So
My son actually, my son actually went back to school. He's missing 8 classes and he hasn't gone for some years now. So he finally decided he wants to be done by the time he's 30. So
good
he
for him.
he took one class this semester, and it's a class where they tape it or something so he can watch it anytime he wants.
Yeah.
Which is kind of a good entry level, for this first class back. After this, he'll only have 7 more classes, 3 in his major, 3 electives, and I forget what the other is. So it's not too bad.
Good for him.
Yeah, that's what
great.
I said too. And, we had kind of pushed and pushed for a couple of years there. He stopped and he just decided on his own. So I'm happy about that. Matter of fact, my wife had to go to the bookstore today because they found out he needed a book. So she was there and she bought him a BSU t-shirt.
Oh,
yeah.
Nice.
So that's nice.
Yeah, pro tip, have them also check on Amazon. Sometimes it's cheaper on Amazon than at the bookstore.
Yeah, it is. Actually,
yeah.
my wife had checked on it. It was going to take an extra. He has one project that's due tonight. So when he
Okay.
gets
Yep.
up from work, he's doing it. And the Amazon, if we had planned earlier, you're right, it would have been cheaper. So I guess I should call the meeting to order. So welcome to our
Okay.
meeting on Zoom. It is now 2:07.
Mhm.
And the only one I'm not sure of, I saw his name pop up. Chris, are you there?
Hi, everyone. How are you?
Good. How
Hi,
you
Chris.
doing?
Hi,
Hi.
Chris.
Good
Hi,
to
Chris.
see you. So, did everyone get a chance to look at the meeting notes from November 30th meeting?
Yes, yep.
Yes.
Yes,
And do we have approval on that?
I'd like to make a motion to approve the minutes of the November 30th meeting.
Thanks, Lorraine.
Second it.
Thank you, Karen. Meeting notes are approved. Thank you. Next thing we have on the agenda is Chris. Welcome. We're going to go very easy on you. I appreciate you being here today, Chris.
Sure.
Now, Chris, 2 things we wanted to ask. The update on the Academy building door.
Sure. Yeah, absolutely. Happy to say I'm just waiting on the company to do their final little spec checks, I guess is the best way to put it. After getting in touch with them shortly after our last meeting there, they got the door in stock. It's custom, so they wanted to check it against their measurements, make the final, put their final stamp of approval on it. And I guess right now, I'm in between them wrapping that up and scheduling. So I'm predicting, probably 4 to 8 weeks. I give that, kind of a wide time frame only because of I don't really want to speak for their scheduling.
Right.
But we're in good shape. And it should be able to follow through and get that underway here pretty shortly. So we're in good shape. We're in good shape overall. I've got an electrician lined up, all the subs and whatnot, and we're ready to move forward. So just waiting on.
Chris, I got to thank you for sharing that with us. This group has been on the store for, I'm going to say 2.5 to 3 years now. So
okay.
it sounds like the end is in sight, and I get to feel that you really pushed it. So thank you very much for getting this accomplished.
Sure.
The other thing I want to ask you, Chris, is back to the mailbox. And I was there yesterday, and actually I saw you and I knocked on the window. You were in one of the conference rooms upstairs when I was there. And I went through the side entrance, and I thought about the mailbox because it was very crowded in that parking lot. And it's really difficult to get to that mailbox. So, I'm not sure if they're giving you a hard time about it, or can you do the second mailbox? But for anyone with any kind of disability whatsoever, it really is almost the same as going into the building. So do you have any updates on that at all?
I did float out kind of two locations in the same parking lot in the vicinity. That is a little more conducive to either pulling up or hopping out of your car and dropping off. Just opening your door and taking a step to drop mail off. I don't really know where they stand on adding a mailbox. I'm kind of going down the path of moving the existing mailbox to one of those proposed locations, and
Right.
looking really for the town manager's input on that.
We
And I
lost
move
him.
forward with it.
Oh, there he is.
Chris, I don't think our commission, was concerned about moving it. That's a great idea. I think we were just trying to go the easiest route if that was easier and cheaper or whatever. But if you can move it, I mean, basically, it's just making it more accessible to the, Bridgewater residents.
Yeah. No, yeah, understandable. It never really adding another mailbox is, in my opinion, and happy to kind of hear your feedback on this, may confuse folks. Someone's pulling in and they see one mailbox, and then now you're like, well, which one do I go to here?
Right.
This one.
I agree.
Yeah.
You want to keep the path kind of clear, concise, and okay. You pull in. Here's a sign for a mailbox. If your mailbox, great. Dropped it. Don't have to go to the front door. Don't have to go to the side door. One and done kind of thing. But that's just my feeling. So happy to hear thoughts on it. If you think in you guys' experience of obviously using town hall coming and going, would that, I may be way off track. So if you think.
No. I'm actually trying to think back, and anyone can clue me in on this, but I thought someone said it was going to be more costly to move the existing one, and it was going to be cheaper to just put a additional one that was available, for people that couldn't make it over to the current mailbox. But I think you're right. I think it's much more effective to just have the one mailbox, just closer to the parking lot and more accessible.
Yeah.
What does everyone else agree?
That's what I feel, David. I think would be very confusing to have a second mailbox somewhere. I think we need to take care of our issue here with the existing mailbox.
I agree. One mailbox would be better, I believe.
Yeah, I completely agree. And I will just warn Chris that anytime you try to use logic in government, you're bound to fail.
Can we quote you on that one, Karen?
I've heard that's an oxymoron, but I'm just gonna stay in my lane and what I can to the table.
Chris, I just have one more question, totally not to do with this group whatsoever, but for the Elder Affairs Commission, I think we were going to get a copy of the, and Gloria is on the Elder Affairs also, and Karen. We were going to get a copy of the addition to the front of the building, and do you have that available, or is that something that's coming?
I do, yes. Meant to send you that at the beginning of the week here. So let me get that out right now while I'm tuned in with everyone. Let me make sure I've got your email. I believe I do. Yep. Let me send that to you right now.
Okay, well, that's really great.
you.
I'm glad I brought that up.
Yeah. No, thank you for reminding me.
Does anyone else have any other questions for Chris at all at this time?
No, I just thank Chris for his, trying to move forward with us and staying on top of things. But I do agree with that mailbox. One mailbox would be sufficient, but we just need to find a remedy for it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The other thing I'd like to add to Lorraine's point is I thank Chris for being so accessible.
Mhm.
I have to
Yes.
say, probably the years we've been on the commission, it's hard to get anyone to join us from town hall. And,
Yeah.
it's kind of refreshing to have Chris join us so often. So thank you very much. And I
Yes.
appreciate your
Right.
time and effort.
Sure,
Mhm.
absolutely. No, my
And
pleasure.
I'm just going to float out a crazy idea. Is there any chance we could approach the town manager and ask that Chris be the disability coordinator? The ADA person for the town?
Well, I guess the first thing would be to add, since that's not usual, would be to ask Chris if he would be interested in doing something like that. It's a lot of responsibility.
Mm.
Well, it's interesting. Steve Solari was just handed it. He had no idea what he was expected to do, and consequently, from his own words, hasn't really done anything as the ADA coordinator. He's been focusing more on the building inspection kinds of things. And
Right.
I really appreciate that Chris is coming and is concerned about the issues that are facing our residents with disabilities. So I just think since he's coming, maybe that would make sense.
So Chris, let me ask you, is this something you would like to think about? It is responsibility. Basically, every town has an ADA coordinator. I'm not sure how they do it in other towns, but in this town, it was kind of thrust on the Steve Solari by position. And I don't even know that he knew he was the ADA coordinator until it was brought up.
And he
Yeah,
clearly didn't know what it involved because he was surprised at some of the content at that meeting we attended with the state. So, yeah.
absolutely. I'd definitely be interested. The first thing that pops into my head is Steve does have a vast knowledge and understanding. So I would definitely love to sit down and chat with him and just make sure that there's really no kind of gaps in my knowledge base. I have a good solid understanding. I'd be comfortable stepping into the role. So I guess I would just want to vet out myself and make sure that, having the roles that he's been in as, job site super and now building inspector, that comes with a lot of a depth of knowledge and understanding that, so I'd want to kind of make sure I'm on the same level and bringing the same, experience and knowledge and to the table. So definitely something I'd like to consider and maybe talk with Steve and we could circle back and kind of see what explore role a little more in depth. Sure.
And the thing I'm thinking about is from the meeting we attended, it seems like the ADA coordinator is almost like a quarterback where they kind of like gather, marshal the forces and collaborate with different departments depending on the need. And you've identified yourself and your participation here has shown that you are very collaborative and you do reach out to the different entities that need to have a say in a situation. And I think that's the ideal situation for an ADA coordinator, someone who is collaborative, who does reach out and who actually follows through, which, is awesome. And I thank you again and again for all of that.
Absolutely. Yeah, no, that's it is definitely well positioned to, move between departments and pull in everyone that's relevant. So, it would make sense. And so let's explore it a little more. Sure.
Great. Thank you very much.
Wouldn't we have to also go through the, whether it be the town council or Mike Dutton, because it has to have been assigned by somebody in the politics of Bridgewater, and I'm
right. Steve
to-
said that Mike's, what's his name? Mike Dutton assigned
Dutton.
him. that it was not
Okay.
anything that Steve had applied for.
Okay, so
Yeah, that would be the town manager's role. Yeah,
that's town
to do
manager.
that,
So if
to
that's the
handle
case,
yeah.
and I have a feeling that Steve Solari, and I don't want to speak for him, would be more than happy to, you know, hand this over to someone else that was willing. And I don't see that Mike Dutton would be caring, you know, as long as somebody was handling it. So I think that's a great idea if everyone is willing.
Mhm.
And I think, you know, having someone like Chris who follows through, who keeps things on everyone's radar, actually decreases the town's liability.
Right.
That's true. And it's, I mean, right now we just have someone we can talk to and share the information. So I think this is a really great idea. And thank you, Chris, for considering it. That's really
thank you.
awesome.
Mhm.
If that's it for Chris, we're gonna move on to the Marathon Park grant money. Who was it, Henry? Was it you that told me that they received a grant from Marathon Park of about $100,000?
Yes, yep. I saw that on Facebook somewhere a long time ago.
So we have heard nothing, and I guess I would feel that we should reach out to Parks and Recreation. I want your opinion, guys, but if they're gonna do any kind of upgrades to the park, I would hope that they would kind of include us in so we can kind of, you know, bring the sense of what we're looking for to make it more usable for people with disability. I mean, a couple of the things that we had issues with that they said was too expensive to change at that time. The surface of the playground was, I guess it was like bark, and it was very rough to get across. A lot of the playgrounds, and I have no idea what it's going to cost. A lot of the playgrounds have a surface that it's almost like a softer surface, and it's certainly smooth, and you'd be able to use a walker or a wheelchair or whatever to get across the surface. So right there would be an important thing, and also access ability to a lot of the rides over there. But it would be nicer if we could be included at the beginning instead of complaining after the park is all set.
Right.
Which, you know, is like one more good reason to have someone in town hall who actively keeps the needs of disabled Bridgewater residents on everyone's radar.
Mhm.
So if you guys are in agreement, my thought was, and I'll do a kind of a question to them, but Parks and Recreation, if this is the case that they have a grant money for $100,000 or whatever it is in a similar amount, that we'd be interested as a commission in being involved in the planning stages for, you know, what they're going to do to the park.
Sure.
Would everyone be in agreement that we, using the name of
Yes.
the Disability Commission, we should reach out to Parks and Recreation?
Yes.
It might
Absolutely.
also be helpful
Yeah.
to find out the wording of the grant,
Mhm.
because sometimes they are very specific about the kinds of things they want to see improved, and accessibility is usually on that list.
Wording of the grant. I can
Well, I
include that.
wonder if we would even be able to receive a copy of the grant, you know? What
We
does the
should be
grant
able to.
specify? You know,
And-
and what is I mean, obviously, when there's a grant award, it's due to a proposal, or did someone put in for it? Did a department put in for it? What are the specifics? What is the funding to be used towards? I mean, there's a lot of things that we need to know about that.
I don't know where it came from
Yeah.
either. And a lot of the park had been built with donations from the O'Leary Foundation. So I'm not sure if they're continuing to be involved, or is it from a completely different resource? But we can ask those questions.
Yes.
If you're all in agreement, what I'll
Mhm.
do is I will reach out to Parks and Recreation, see what we can find out. You know, I think it's important that they start including us with some of these decisions. And
Yeah.
again, I think it's a lot better before than looking at it after it's complete. So I think it would behoove everyone to include us in at the beginning stage. So good.
Yeah, that's a
what
great
we'll-
idea. Yeah,
Good.
definitely.
Okay, let's see. Next thing is kind of going right along with that. Bridgewater Town Building Information distributed to Disability Commission. And if you're all in agreement, my comment is the Disability Commission really receives information from the town of Bridgewater pertinent to its position and function. Often, the commission receives updates when called upon to sign and approve a building plan that has already been decided. So, for instance, we were called upon to get involved with Memorial Building when it was mostly complete. We got called upon to basically pencil whip our agreement for that dwell building that's adjacent to the college. And, you know, quite often that's the kind of thing that they include us. So they want the power of the commission only to approve what is already getting approved by the powers that be. I would like to be involved right from the start of some of these projects. Does everyone kind of agree?
Yes, I agree.
Yes,
So who should we reach out to? Should it be both Dudden and the town councilors? Should we go to the town?
Yes.
So yes,
Yeah, I think anything that lands on Mike Dutton's desk that doesn't also have eyes on it from the town council can be ignored.
okay. So we'll reach out to Dudden Town Council, and I know that Mike has said in the past he would include us, but I really rarely receive anything. And you know, it's kind of a shame because they could really use us. I mean, we're all involved, we're all concerned, and it could really take advantage of our interest in the Disability Commission and really get more from us. And I don't think that they seem to be that interested, you know, except to have us, like I said, pencil whip that, you know, we're approving something. So I will reach out to the two groups.
Thank you, David.
Anything else that anyone would like to include in what we're stating to them?
no, I think you basically, I think that's a great way to go. Know that, you know, we're a viable committee and we want to be involved and we want to have some knowledge of what is going on. So I think that
And I
is
think,
important.
yeah, I agree with Lorraine.
Yeah.
And I think the only thing I would add, just to kind of shame them slightly, is that we should be informed by the town manager and town council of any disability grievances and the resolutions of such.
Disability grievances. That's a good point. Good, thank you. The next thing, I'm not sure if we should be involved or not, in your opinion. And Lorraine, let me ask you this. I went to a meeting and I'm not sure if it was sponsored by the
Triad. It was
Center or was it
Triad.
Triad? Okay,
Yep.
it was Triad, good. I thought probably that this was one of the most important meetings I went to, and I'll tell you why. After the meeting, and just for everyone else's information, it was the fire department, and they do home inspections on people that are interested on smoke detectors, carbon monoxide detectors, actually the heating system, and any other hazards in the homes of senior citizens. They actually replaced the smoke detectors and the carbon monoxide detectors for free. And what they're putting up is the battery operated smoke detectors, not the wired in ones. But they made a point at the meeting that if your smoke detector, I think they said 10 years old, and you could correct me if I'm wrong, but they said if it's 10 years old or older and appears to be working, it still could be defective and you should have it replaced. Well, after the meeting, I talked to people on my bistro meal delivery route, and I'm going to say the more I ask, the more you find out that hardly anyone has working smoke detectors.
Right.
In the case of the people on my route, a lot of them, they have to get up on a chair or a ladder to get to the smoke detectors. You know, they're nervous about it. Some of them haven't checked the battery in years. So out of my list of 13 houses, 6 of them don't have working smoke detectors.
Wow.
We
David,
haven't.
could I? Oh, I don't
Please.
mean to cut you off, but I have, I'd like to comment on this whole topic, if I can.
Sure, please.
Okay. Obviously, I'm very familiar. It's called the Seniors First Safety Program, and that was implemented, you know, several years back. I think the key word to try to not use is the word inspection. Because
Okay.
there's a fear that when people sign up for this program, or a lack of people, seniors signing up for the program, they feel it's an inspection and a home inspection, and they don't want to get involved. They're afraid they're going to be cited for violations, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So this still is, I mean, I think it is really, you know, it's gained in momentum than several years ago when we first started, or I should say it's an involvement with the fire department, the senior center, elder affairs, and a couple other entities. They received a grant years back. And I think it's gaining momentum. But I just spoke to Chief McDermott, Mike McDermott. It's going well, but the fear is using the word inspection. And what it is, it's a voluntary program where seniors do sign up, and the fire department personnel do come in and they do check the smoke detectors and a lot of these other type of issues. And like I said, it's a volunteer base. There's no fine or whatever. You're not going to be reported to whoever. I think there's that big fear. So in my recent conversation with the fire department, their feeling is if there were any issues involving disabilities issues, they certainly would reach out to them. And they're wonderful, and I know they would, you know, there wouldn't be an issue. And they're well aware of us also. And as you mentioned, David, you know, we had the fire department in to do programs, and we will be having them in again in March for the Triad program. So we
Right.
don't overlap. So I don't think we would be involved in that sense. But if
Okay.
you know of, you know, individuals or residents that would be in need of our resources or to be guided further, they, you know, like they said, they definitely would be very, you know, they would reach out to us without a hesitation at all. But the key issue is to make sure that we don't use the word inspection, because then they feel it's someone coming in and finding a lot of issues. So
Right.
I'm hesitant to sign up for this senior first safety program, but it's a great
Yeah.
program.
Well, it really is.
Mhm.
And thanks for sending me straight on the wording of that.
No problem. No.
They were talking about getting involved at the senior center. We
Mhm.
still haven't got the cards yet. I did stop by the fire department downtown, and they said as of it might have been a week to 2 weeks ago, I stopped by, and they still did not have the cards yet. They said they ordered them and they were going to follow up. As a matter of fact, I don't know her name, but I believe she was at the meeting, your Triad meeting.
Oh, is it Renee?
It might be, I think it
Yeah.
might be Renee. And they said they were still on order. They were, you know, still getting it.
Mhm.
And I just felt, I was kind of shocked, I gotta be honest, because I couldn't believe how many people don't have working smoke detectors. And it's the
Right.
most, it's the most vulnerable people also. You
Mhm.
know, it's gonna be hard to get up and, you know, if there's smoke or fire and, you know, I just,
Exactly.
yeah, so, okay.
Hey, David, David,
Yes, sir.
does the housing authority check the smoke detectors there?
I don't know. I honestly, I would have thought that they'd be the best on top of it, but I do not know.
I think they do. I believe, I thought they did, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah. Mhm.
Okay. Any other comments on that?
David, I think the way to go would be us to continuously, and obviously through the Triad program, continuously in elder affairs too, to
Mhm.
support the Seniors First Safety Program. And that would be where they could, you know, make sure the smoke detectors are working properly and
Right.
things like that. So maybe to work with the fire department through Triad and through the Elder Affairs Commission with their Seniors First Safety Program, that would be the way to go.
I think that's a good idea.
Yeah,
Good,
like that.
good. Okay, that's good. The
Mhm.
next item is kind of what we kind of discussed this in advance, communication between the Bridgewater Disability Commission and Bridgewater ADA Commission. And Karen brought up, you know, hey, you know, maybe Chris would be the ideal candidate. And,
Yeah.
you know, I think our communication would, you know, get a lot stronger and we could get a lot more accomplished. So I won't go into it again, but
Mhm.
I think that was
Right.
a good point. Okay. The next point I had, and I don't know if ad hoc committees are the right wording, or you can tell me, but what I like to do is we go forward and we branch into a couple of different things we want to get accomplished. I'd like to have like one, each of us, or, several of us take responsibility for the individual issues. So then when we have our meetings, it's not just me going down a list of, well, we should do this or that Lorraine, might have a particular responsibility. Karen could have a particular responsibility, Henry, and so forth, Gloria. And that way we're kind of sharing the responsibility. And also, I think we'll get a lot more done this way. And I just wanted your opinion on that.
I personally, David, I would like to remain, I call myself liaison, it's whatever wording the board wants to choose, to remain a connection or communication with the housing authority. I enjoy doing that. As you know, like I had mentioned, triad, the senior safety, all of that kind of intertwines, in your Elder Affairs Commission. So those type of issues, I'm very happy to remain, on the forefront with,
Good.
or
That's
active with.
appreciated. And I just want to thank you for being involved, Gloria, Karen, whoever else, but we haven't talked about it since, but it was, I thought the Christmas gift giving at the Bridgewater Housing was very successful. We had a really good turnout.
We did.
We ended up getting Mark, I think it's Visconis. He did take some pictures that he posted on Facebook, of the event. But, I just felt like people were very responsive, for the gifts we gave. They were very thankful. And, it just showed that, we as a community cared. And I thought it went over really well. I was a little disappointed in the nursing home this year for those that went, because usually we get to visit in person. Last year we didn't, but there was more involvement. This year, the activity director was on vacation. They basically had everyone shut up inside the nursing home. So we didn't see anyone. No one came to the window. So we just kind of dropped off the gifts and went. So it was kind of anticlimactic. But I'm hoping that next time we go there, it'll be more like the old days where we actually do get to visit again.
No, and David, that's a good point, because when we were at the Housing Authority, it wasn't just the act of dropping off gifts. It was all of those people seeing all of our faces, and knowing that we were thinking about them and that we cared. And I think that's just as important as whatever we may have brought them that day. So that way, it was a good feeling, and you could see their faces. You could see that they were very appreciative, and that they just loved having the company as well. So I think it was good all around.
I know.
Well, I agree. As a matter of fact, it's funny because this guy, Norm, that goes to the Y, sought me out. He lives at the Housing Authority, and I don't know his last name, but I've talked to him there at the Y for years now. He's 92 years old. He goes to the Y Monday through Friday.
Wow.
And he sought me out, and he said, he got the gift, and he was just so thankful. And I said, well, it's not, honestly, it's $6 a grocery. He said, no, you thought, it was just nice that you guys thought of us, and he appreciated, the gift. So, we had a few other people that also called the senior center to thank us. So, there was a lot of positive response. It really was.
It was.
And thank you, David, for taking that on. It's such a short notice.
Well, this year it was short. Next year, if I'm involved, we're going to start a lot earlier.
Yeah. You got to get Santa's elves working, a lot sooner.
The next thing on the agenda is just open discussion. Is there anything anyone would like to bring up today?
I'm just happy to see that the momentum's continuing with the Disabilities Commission, with all of you, for all the work that you guys continue to do. I think it's great, and we just keep our name out there and just keep it going and moving forward. And that's all that we can do. And I think it's possible.
Right, absolutely.
Well, thank you. And I think we have some really good members. All you guys are just so, involved and interested. And, it's taking your time. And and effort. And I just appreciate you all being here for all the meetings and caring what happens in the town. So, you know, I have to thank you guys too. So it's good that we have, you know, all these people that like getting together like this and being involved, and, you know, very appreciated. The
I
next
think
meeting,
the
I think.
only
Oh,
voice
go
we
on.
don't really have would be a voice that also adds, what are the needs of the disabled children in the community?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. So let me ask you this, where would we go to get that voice and to get that information?
You know, and I don't know, but I can start beating some bushes and finding out.
Would you be going through the school system possibly?
Possibly, but I mean, there are parents of kids from birth to 5 who have
Sure.
disabilities. And are those kids do they feel comfortable taking their children to our playgrounds? And then certainly the school age populations. And Zach and I have way more contact with the college folks than you can imagine. But I'm thinking, you know, we can talk about young adults pretty well, but I'm not sure what the needs of families are who have children in our community. And I think that would be important to find out.
Karen, could I put you on the agenda for the next meeting, that between now and the next meeting, you start looking into this?
Sure, I'll
I
see
think
what I
that's
can
great.
find out.
Good, I appreciate it. And you know, because everything I do is kind of related to seniors, the senior center, and a lot of it's kind of nice to go in a different direction and see what we can do to help young Bridgewater residents. So that's kind of cool.
Which I do remember, David, when you did your presentation in front of the town council maybe a year ago. I think it was Tim Fitzgibbons, the counselor, who had mentioned, just don't forget the younger, you know, population also, disability population.
I don't remember who said it, but someone did. So you probably have a, I didn't know him. So yeah.
Thanks for bringing that up, Karen, because David, I'm like you, my whole field has been older adults. So sometimes my mind goes in that direction, but it's
well, see, that's why it's great we have Karen. Karen deals with college age students all day long. So that's a good thing. Is there anything else anyone would like to bring up before we end the meeting? So the next meeting will be Tuesday, February 22nd at 2 p.m. I'm going to assume now, and I'll let you know if there's anything different. I'm assuming it's going to be on Zoom again.
okay.
Though it's kind of gratifying because the percentage rate of COVID infections is almost half of what it was 4 weeks ago. It was 25%. And then I think yesterday in the Globe, they said it was 13%. So it's about half. And I'm hoping the next time we meet again, it's way less than that even. Okay, so I'm looking forward to seeing everyone at the next meeting. So who would like to be the first to end the meeting?
Oh, that would be me, David.
It's always you, Gloria. Thank
I make a
you.
motion that we end this wonderful meeting.
Thank you very much, Gloria. And who would like to second?
I'll second it.
Thank you very much, Lorraine. You guys all have a great week, great month, and we'll talk soon.
Thank
you
you.
much.
Take care, everybody.
Stay well.
Bye-bye.
Bye now.
Bye.